Recording.
Awesome. Maybe we can put everybody on mute as well, please. Lozzie. Bingo. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Team Elevate 90-day game plan, call number 3 in our 90-day game plan, with an exciting and activity-fueled week ahead of us. And I hope everybody's had an amazing week. We had some pretty cool tasks to get done, some vision to put out there, and you know, some clarity defined for what we really want over the next 90 days. And tonight is really all going to be about the next step after all of that vision and clarity, and after all of that, those amazing tips and tools on connecting and talking to people. We now are going to be talking about actually presenting the Isagenix solutions and how we can go about doing that, and some amazing examples. So it is awesome to see all of you amazing and committed people here tonight. Everyone is actually here committed to their own success, and all of the incredible people that we are going to have talking tonight are here to help you to take that next step. So as some of you might know, my name is Erin, and I am the absolute pleasure to be your host or hostess for the call tonight. But I am actually going to really just hand it right over to our amazing gold medal winning Olympic Team Isagenix athlete, mama, wife, gorgeous woman, and also 3-star Golden Circle Crystal Executive. The drum roll for Kerry Podcast.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. I always still cringe when I hear the gold medal thing. It's just been so long ago, but obviously I've got to remember to get used to that. Tonight we have got so much content to bring you, so I think the best thing is just to get straight into it. We've got a lot of people sharing stuff tonight, so pens and paper ready. There will be a recording, obviously, so if you need to go back and write down some of the things that people said, please do so, because some of the people that we've got speaking tonight are going to give you real live examples of what they've done and how they've done it. So tonight is all about presenting and what's the next step. So for me, it's when somebody comes to you, or you mention what you're doing to somebody, or for yourself, and they're interested, and then they go, well, tell me more. And then you go, oh, help, what do I do now? So I've had a lot of people recently who have started with me who have been in that position. What do they do next? You know, what do they send and how do they do it? So we've got a number of different ways of doing it. And presenting can be anything from a one-on-one conversation, sending an ISA movie, getting on ISA tools, doing a 3-way PM, 3-way call, having a launch party, bringing someone to an opportunity meeting, a Wellness Wednesday, bringing somebody who's already been into Isagenix for a while, bringing them to a Super Saturday because they're now interested in doing the business, or an ISA University, or Uni in Action, and of course the big one, Celebration in Australia, and of course Celebration in the States. So events obviously is a way of presenting, because it's not you presenting, it's your job is to get them there, and then they're going to be presented too. So we're going to cover all those things tonight. We've got a guest speaker as well that's going to come on and talk to us about 30-second stories and how he developed his and how well that works for him. So his name is Bill Ryan, and he'll be joining us around about 7:30 when he gets home. He's going to jump straight on with us. So to kick us off, and if anyone's got any questions throughout it, please type them in the chat box, and we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll try and answer those throughout the night. So the first one we're going to talk about one-on-ones. So what do you do when you've set up a meeting, someone's interested, and they said, yep, let's meet, let's go for a coffee. What do you take? What do you say? How do you do it? And the person that I'd like to introduce tonight is one of my team members, Manuela, also one of my closest friends. Some of you may have met her so far at events. She's been on a few events with us. And Manuela is a director, 1-star Silver Circle. So Manuela, if you could unmute yourself And if you can, I know you're a legend at having one-on-one meetings, and I was surprised at how quickly you started doing that when you first started wanting to share Isagenix. Can you give us some insights? We're going to have about 5 minutes for each person to talk. Insights into one-on-one meetings.
Sure. Thanks for the introduction, Carrie. Okay. I just have a little stash that I always have ready to go for when I go to one-on-one meetings. Obviously, once you go to the one-on-one meeting, you always pretty know who you're actually talking to, because you would have had either PM exchanges or phone calls, so you kind of know where the conversation is going to head. But in my kit, I'm just going to show you what I've got in my kit always ready to go. So first of all, don't forget the diary, because whatever conversation you have with your peeps, you can be sure that you will leave that meeting with a next appointment again, so don't forget your diary if you have a paper diary or your electronic one. New pamphlets that just came out from Isagenix. They were very cheap, actually, and this is something that you can give them to walk away with if they really want to just have something physical that they can take away with them. And quite often I found that people don't want to go onto another website. They just want something to take away. So I'm very happy to hand over one of these babies here. This one covers pretty much everything, and this is for the serious sports people. I always have my folder. So this is a folder, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will have a folder a little bit looking like this. In here, I have several documents that to answer questions, so that I can kind of cover the whole meeting in one meeting. I can cover a lot, basically. I always have these as my very first one here, and this always prompts a question. I always get the question, what is that? And I always say, yeah, when we do have shakes, I like to call them super food smoothies, but in any of these shakes, you've got all of these in there. They don't taste like meat or beans or whatever, but this is what you would have to eat to actually get the equivalent of a shake. Then I've got a schedule on how we do the cleansing. I've got some product information. I can actually post what I do have in here just to help out if that is helpful for anybody else. I have some forms in here. I have just very nice colorful prints of our core products. I have some cost objections in here. There's a beautiful form that Danny Catania prepared about can I afford Isagenix. So there's cost comparison in here. I've got a sheet in there that I found also some cost comparisons with Jenny Craig and other nutritional companies or weight loss companies, just to show them this is actually a really good way to go. It is very competitive in prices. Actually, this is much better. So my folder is pretty full, and then never go anywhere without some before and after photo. And make sure that you have before and after photos of every category. You have male, female, energy and performance, weight loss, and also age differences, so that people can relate to something in there, and you make sure you show them what relates to them. Lately, I've been taking this with me also, because sometimes you get the question, do you guys actually eat real food? And I'm like, oh, funny you should say that. Isagenix has a beautiful cookbook now, and I might talk briefly about the cookbook. And last but not least, this is the last thing that I've purchased lately, and it's the lookbook. And the lookbook is fabulous because it's got all of your categories listed here. It's got the energy and performance, the weight loss, the wealth creation, and the healthy aging. So whoever you're talking to, you open it up in the right section. And I find that once I hand this over, people very happily flick through it, and it's beautiful, it's colorful, it's glossy, and they love it, and it just creates a nice conversation. So I just make sure I have everything. And then last but not least, I have an expression of interest form, and it is a little bit debatable how to do that for various things that are happening recently. But, if you can actually then put the details of your new prospect into the computer yourself, I think that works best. But I do have the expression of interest form in here in case they do want to go home with something and I'm not just ready to do it there, but then I make sure I follow up. So this is my kit, and I hope it was helpful.
That was super awesome. Woohoo! Thank you,
made it under 5 minutes. Yay.
Boom. We can finish the call now. That was just enough right there.
Yeah. Okay, I hope that's helpful. You can PM me if you need to know anything or any details. Just PM me, and I'm very happy to respond.
Yeah, awesome. I think Erin said too that there might be a few things that people, and in the chat box, a few people have asked questions about, can you put that in the files section of Team Elevate? So that'd be fantastic. Thank you so much. And maybe you could even make a little list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or something, of what people can take. And of course, you don't have to take exactly that. You can take a bit of it. You can take all of it. You can take more, like whatever you got. But I think Manuela is super organized, so she's got whatever she needs. And you know, it's great to look professional, I think, when you have a one-on-one meeting with someone as well. Awesome. So the next thing that we were going to talk about, and I'll just use, I'll do this one, which is iSaMovie. So for those of you, I think most of you are familiar with our iSaMovie website. So iSaMovie.com, if you put that in, you'll probably get the American one first. You can go up in the top right-hand corner, and you can change that to be an Australian one, the AU version. In there, you'll find movies that are about weight loss. There's a great Isagenix Experience movie. That's the first one that comes up, and that's the latest Australian one. So my suggestion is to really familiarise yourself with the iSaMovies. And one of the tasks that we have today is to actually do that in one of the categories. But there are 3 weight management movies. There are 4 energy and performance movies. There's 1 currently healthy aging movie, and there are 3 wealth creation movies. And then for those of you, and I didn't know this until the other day, there's actually a movie that shows in every category. It's called Your Next Step, and it's the U+2 one with Eric Coover. So that's always at the bottom of that website. And what I love about that website, it's actually embedded into isagenix.com. So if you send somebody to one of those particularly, so you go up into the URL and you cut and paste the URL, you put it into your message, or you text it or PM it, or however you want to do it, they're then actually in the Isagenix website. And from there, they can go and look at the products, they can look at the ingredients, they can look at the opportunity. You might not want to actually send them a weight management video, even though you think that might be appropriate for them, but you might want to start off with something a little bit more subtle or different, and they'll then obviously see that there are other videos in there that they may relate to. So I think iSaMovie is a fantastic tool. Just another way of sending a video, because obviously people do love to watch videos. Some people love to read, some people like to have it in their hands, some people love to just watch a quick video, and they're all very short videos, 2 or 3 minutes. There's also, Isagenix has a YouTube channel, and there's a stack more videos on there. So every now and again, if you've got time, just go in there, plug it in. If you're on the treadmill or going for a walk on the beach or whatever, plug one of the videos in, because it's not so much about what you're seeing, it's also about, you know, what you're listening to as well. You might find something interesting in there. And I guarantee you, every time you actually watch one of these videos, people will come into your mind. Friends of yours will come into your mind, and you'll think, oh my goodness, that person needs to hear this, or this would be great for that person. And it could be a prospect that you're thinking of, but it actually could be somebody that's already in Isagenix and is in their 30 days, their first 30 days. And you just think that extra the video might help them with their 30 days, or might then introduce them to some other part of the business that they may be interested in. 2 other videos that I wanted to point out, which I use to present to people, is the Jill Birth video. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Jill Birth, she had an incredible weight loss. She had a 20+ before photos, never got to the after photo until she discovered Isagenix. So she's made a fantastic video that she used for the IsaBody Challenge. And that's in the plugged in post, which I put up in Team Elevate. So if you go into the search box in Team Elevate and you just put in plugged in at the top there, you'll find that post, and that the link to that video is in there, as well as one for a male, and his name is Coleman. Comes to mind, Craig Coleman, and he also lost a lot of weight. So they're both really good weight loss ones, and they're real stories that they've put together. So a couple of little points there on videos, which are a great tool to present to people. Any questions on that? Probably nothing that's come up. The next area that I want to have covered, which is a really relatively new one, is the new IsaTools app, which we can use to present. And we're going to get Anne, she blew a light bulb. to come on. Ange is a 1-star Golden Circle executive. So, Ange, if you can unmute yourself and tell us how amazing the new Isotools app is. She's looking for the unmute button. She can't find bottom right, bottom left corner.
Bottom left. Yeah, bottom left.
Or maybe you can unmute her, Lauren. Lauren's on it. There you go. Hi, Edge.
Hi guys, I'm sorry, I've had like the biggest disaster. I've had a blown globe. I can't see any of you. I blew a globe and burnt a finger. I tried to run around to get some lights. I've dropped a glass of wine on my floor, red wine on a cream carpet. So anyhow, that's okay. So this is the beauty of Isogenics. And when you are presenting to people, you know, often it's actually a good lesson because it doesn't always go to plan. So so I can't see you, but that's okay. I was talking to Kerry yesterday, and after seeing Celebration, I'm not sure when Isotools was actually launched, but I straight away downloaded it. And for those of you who don't know and haven't used the Isotools app that's available through Isogenics, it is phenomenal. Absolutely such a game changer. So where you find it, basically, so it's an app that's available on your phone, and it is it's found through Sound Concepts. So I'll make sure that you've got the link to be able to download it. The cost of the app is $49, and I can guarantee this will be the best $49 you ever invest into Isogenics. So what does it do? So for me, what I've started to do is to, whether I'm having a one-on-one with somebody, so I have downloaded the app onto my phone, and what the app actually does is enables you to see, when Kerry was talking about all these videos that are available, they're available on the app on your phone. So all I do, and again, because I can't see you on my screen because I don't know what's going on at the moment, but if I actually just try and show you, so it's an app, so it's available both on Google Play if you're a Samsung or an Android user, or it's available on Apple if you're an iTunes user. And basically, again, I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see this, but let me know if you can. But this basically just gives you a bit of an idea as to what it looks like. So can you see? Maybe not. But
yeah, we can kind of see. We can kind of see.
Okay, kind of see. So basically what I do with this is, if I'm sitting face to face with somebody and I'm talking to them about, for me, what I love to do is to really get to somebody's why, like what's happening with them, lots of good questions about how they're feeling, where they're at. I use all of the techniques we've learned, you know, in 90 days, if you could change anything about your health and well-being, what would you change? And so listening to them and listening to somebody that I'm talking to, I find out if it is, you know, I want more energy, or, you know, if it is about training and they want to improve their training. I just listen. And then what I have access to on this Isotools apps is all the videos that are actually available, but not the American videos, they're all the Australian videos. So if you haven't seen them yet, I'll just run through a few of them. So there's the fantastic one that we saw at Celebration, if you were able to get to Celebration, on Amped, which has Ben Kelly, and also has, so that particular one. There's the Experience Isogenics, which is the one where Heidi, basically it's, you know, got everybody in it, which is a fantastic one if you want to just share kind of what Isogenics is about. So if somebody just wants a bit more information of, like, I have no idea what it is, I always show them that one. There is, if it's anyone that I'm talking to that's 18 to 35, there is the amazing, which I love, though I'm not a START member, 18 to 35-year-olds. There's a fantastic energy and performance one, and I've actually had some good success with this one. And it's one that Scott Wood does, and it talks about Isogenics and, you know, if it is energy performance. So I think often what happens is that Isogenics, people think, oh, weight loss. So for me to be able to broaden the market is a real focus on personal trainers and those weekend warriors, to be able to show that video. And I will sit in a meeting, a one-on-one at a coffee shop, and I'll just show somebody that. There's also Healthy Aging, a great one with Jen Jeffries. So if you've got a person who's kind of in that particular category, that's a fantastic one. Sandy Golder does one on wealth creation. There's and Heidi does weight loss, which, you know, obviously part of most of us know Heidi, so that's a really fantastic one, and that's one that for most people they're wanting to know weight loss. So even if I don't show them there and then, and I get their why, and I understand what they're after, it's really easy with this whole ISA tools is I can then go into this app, and then all I do is I go into the particular video that I actually want to send to somebody, and I can either send them the link via email or SMS, which most of us have access to, and then they have, then they can actually watch that video themselves. But it doesn't stop there, because there's another amazing one on the 100-pound club. There's also Team Isogenics. So a myriad of videos that you can actually send to people. And then for those that are more interested in the business also, maybe down the track, obviously, because, you know, we want people to fall in love with the product first, is that you can send then, Jim Coover does a compensation plan video. So again, I've actually sent that out to people that, you know, have been product users. I mean, I was a product user for 6 months before I decided to share it, which the story goes for so many of us. And so where somebody kind of shows some interest, I say, hey, here's a video that'll give you a bit of an outline as to how the compensation plan works. And then I guess most relevant for tonight, and the agenda that we have, is Suzanne Skillen does a beautiful video on ISA tools on how to host a launch party. And, you know, that will certainly come up later in tonight's discussion, where the focus has been on this week about launch parties. And fantastic. So you've got that there for you to learn, but then also to pass on to people. So if you've got people that you've enrolled that you don't have access to in the same town, whatever, international, our businesses, we hope will all go international, then you can actually shoot somebody off that video for them to have a look at. So there's also U+2, Them +2 that Gem Patch does. Again, if you've got somebody who says, oh, kind of how does a business work? That's one that I always send off to people. So the app of ISA Tools shows you the markets. Currently, it's for Australia and New Zealand. So then once you've got the videos, then you also have access to a whole lot of PDFs. This is the one that I've actually really been able to get some traction on. They have the PDFs, a myriad of them. So just today, I'll give you an example. I've got a girl that's been on the program for about 3 months, and she has a weight loss goal, but she's now started to train. And so what I've done is that I've just sent her the PDFs on the Amped range, because she's starting to train with a personal trainer 4 times a week, and I wanted to share that with her. So it's a PDF, basically the marketing material that we have on Amped Power, Amped Recover, and that's what she was looking at. She's quite tired and got sore muscles. So I just quickly sent those off, just SMS. So I've got that option with ISA Tools, you get the PDF. All you do is click onto it, and then you say, well, how do you want this? What medium do you want to send that to that person? So I can email it or I can SMS it. So I SMS. Sorry. So I SMS'd it to her, and she was like, fantastic, I've just placed an order. So how good is that? So all the PDFs are there available on all the packs, all of the individual marketing material we have for each of the individual products, And then also it has a whole lot of magazine articles. And, so if you've got somebody who's kind of interested or, so what I've actually just started to do is to go through all of those videos. That was something that at Celebration that Susan Sly had talked about. And, I've been a bit slack and I haven't done that, but I've really started to go through all those videos that I have on ISA Tools. And today I just did this massive text message blast out to people on all of, whether it was a specific video or if it was a PDF on a specific product. So for $49, I can guarantee has been amazing for my business.
Can I just interrupt you? Did you send that out to current cleansers or already Isogenics associates? Okay, cool.
Both. So particularly Amped. So I have now sent all the Amped PDFs out to everyone I know who I personally enrolled to talk about a new product launch. And that's the beauty. I could just do it so quickly. So I've sent out, to all of my personally enrolled, I've sent the Amped video, which is amazing, and it's using Australian, so it's not American material, which, we love. And then I've also sent the specific marketing material on each of the individual products of Nox, the Power and Recover. So
awesome. Hey, Ange, we could talk about how awesome this app is all night, but we've got I do want to interrupt you, but we've got so many more things. But that is absolutely fantastic, and I felt your passion when I talked to you about it yesterday, and I thought, you've got to share that with everyone. So we're all going to go and download that app. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Cheers. And you do still look good, even though you don't have a globe there. The next one that we wanted that I'll just cover is three-way personal messages. Three-way personal messages have really been a godsend for me lately, because sometimes it's really hard. We talk about three-way calls a lot. Sometimes a three-way personal message on Facebook can just introduce you into a three-way call, which is really, really easy. And I use them for prospects. So if I have a prospect, as I had yesterday, a prospect who has a 4-month-old, I did a three-way call with my upline, Sarah Maxwell, who has a 6-month-old baby. And they were able to talk about what products they use and how they use it and how they're going to cleanse and things like that. I also use them for current cleansers. So, for instance, Lauren's just recently put Max and myself in a message with one of her cleansers. He was having some issues with energy. He has an energy and performance pack. So Lauren was setting him up with Max through me. So we've got that 4-way message going. So that was a great way of using a 3-way personal message as well with a current cleanser. And then also business builders, people who say, okay, now I'm really interested in seeing what we can do in terms of building an Isogenics business. So that's when I introduce a 3-way PM to set somebody up, maybe to go to a launch party in another city. So my best friend's in Adelaide. I set her up with somebody in Sarah and Nat's downline who I knew lived in Adelaide and ran launch parties. So I put them in a 3-way message together and just said, hey, meet each other. Wondered if, Michelle can come to Anne's launch party and blah, blah, blah. And now they're talking and they're going to set a date where they're going to do a launch party together or at least attend one of each other's. So 3-way PMs, they're the bomb as well, can lead you into 3-way calls. Lauren, I think we might skip to you. I know Bill is already on the call, so we'll get to you in a sec. But one more really great way of presenting that I want to get Lauren to tell her story is about launch parties and how she got her initial house full of friends and family and her first launch party, which kicked off her Isogenics business.
Thank you, Keza. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We're good. Okay. Yeah, so as we're coming into launch party week, this is so poignant. So for me, my whole business started with the launch party, basically. And this is how you're going to leverage your time, especially if you're a mom, especially if you're working full time. You need to leverage your time. So launch parties is where it's at. I'm so proud of everybody. The launch party, we've got about 25 people that are having launch parties next week. So well done to everybody. So exciting, honestly. So I'll just tell you how it worked for me. So I started my 30-day cleanse. I was feeling amazing. And I put a post on Facebook, and I've got it here in front of me. So I'll just read it to you. So this is my post, exactly. Day 8 of my nutritional cleanse, and I am 2.9 kilos down, feeling heaps more energy, feeling fabulous, feeling wonderful. So there was feeling a couple of things there. And then I had 25 people underneath just saying, go Lozzie, you look amazeballs, you know. And I had a lot of people saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And of course, I didn't say in that message or in that post, isogenics. I said nutritional cleansing because I want people to come to me. I don't want people to Google and see all the scams and what have you. So I want them to come to me. So they came to me, and this is the exact message I said. And of course, I swear in this, so please just make it your own. But this is what I said. So it's called isogenics. They say, what is it? And I go, it's called isogenics. It's a nutritional 30-day program. It's all about wellness, but you lose shitloads of weight as a side benefit. My friend's sister did it, and I had to try it, which is all authentic, very true. It's so bloody good, I'm going to sell it now. So I'm very clear there that I have something to offer you. Come to me if you need it. So let me know if you want me to hook you up. Also thinking about doing an info night at my house next Wednesday. Just throwing it out there to see if anyone is keen, as I've had heaps of interest. So that was my message. But and that is how I got my first launch party happening 3 weeks in to my journey. I had 8 people, so it wasn't a heap of people. It was 8 of my gorgeous friends came. 4 of them decided to join on the night. And that particular day I went to work for an old boss of mine. It was 8 hours. I was sitting on a headset and I was doing the most monotonous job. Didn't enjoy it at all. I got $125 for the day. I put my kids in kindy and I had to pay for parking, kindy. So basically ended up with probably $20 for the whole day. And that evening I had my launch party, and 4 of my beautiful girlfriends who are still using isogenics now, and I got them on, you know, the health and wellness journey. I earned over, you know, $1,000 in 45 minutes. So for me, that was the big light bulb. It was like leverage, you know, amazing, helping people. So for me, launch parties is, Heidi is obviously the person that signed me up, or she's my coach, and she taught me launch parties. And that's what I did, and that's why I ran so fast. I got to 5-star within 1 year. So that's a multiple 6-figure income, and doing that around my kids. And I did that with launch parties. So impressed with everyone that has booked their launch party in for next week. Yeah, it's honestly, it's leverage, it's stories. And when you get people in, like for me, I had Alison Roger. I don't know if she's on the line, but she was not financially connected, but came along to my launch party, and she told her story. And her story wasn't about weight loss. It was about wellness. And so that's when I really kind of understood the power of isogenics and how amazing it can actually be. So yeah, I think launch parties is where it's at. You get to leverage your time, and then when people sign up on the night and they decide to start, you say, okay, I'll come to your house in 2 weeks' time, and then do a launch party for them. And you're going deep down into your networks. So
awesome. That was awesome. Thanks, Lozzie. Thank you. That is fantastic. And it is, like you said, it's fantastic. There's so many of us are having launch parties in the next week. It's just going to be out of sight. And we love to hear all the results and see some pictures of the launch parties happening in Team Elev8. If you can do that, that'd be fantastic. So off the back of the launch party, in a launch party, the best thing is to have 2 or 3 people there who are using isogenics to actually tell their story. And so that brings us to our 30-second story. So I'd love to be able to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Bill Ryan, who is, I better get this right. Where's all my terrible notes? Bill, where are you?
1-star golden circle, 4-star crystal executive.
Thanks, Ezra. That's why you're the host. Yes, my notes are all over the place. Bill, are you there?
Anyway, that might be right.
Bill, are you there? Oh, he was there a minute ago. Hello.
Okay, I'll be unmuted now. Thank you. How you going, guys?
Hey, how are you going?
Yeah, great. First of all, thanks very much for inviting me on the call. And here you guys are doing some great things. Led there by yourself, Kerry, and Lauren, and really enjoyed that IsoTools speech there by Ange. Been using that for a while, and I think I sent out about 60 IsoTools sales tools in the last week. So I love that tool and getting some fantastic results with that as well.
Wow, that's awesome, Bill. And I know that, you know, the reason why you've been so successful is really because of those numbers. I mean, 60. I don't know if any of us have done anything like that this week, but 60, and that's pretty incredible. And I've got to say too, Bill actually has a full-time business as well as a family, a wife and family. 3 businesses. Okay, only 3 businesses. That's all. As well as Isogenics. So that is amazing, but you still find the time. And that's what Isotools does. It gives you the ability to do it in such a short space of time. So, Bill, can you quickly start us off and give us your 30-second story, and then we'll talk about how we do that, how we put that together.
Yep, who's got a stopwatch? I'll ask you to time it because I take a lot of pride there in getting it pretty spot on with the 30 seconds because one of the things I like people to know is that people are not really interested in your story. They're interested in their story. So you want to keep it short and sweet and to the point and make it punchy. So I'll get started there. So before Isogenics, I was overweight and I was having trouble sleeping and I was lacking in energy. I was introduced to Isogenics by my good friends Matt and Jody Ralph, and I've been on the program now for almost 3 years. As a result of that, I've lost 28 kilograms. I now have sleep like a baby and I've got energy to burn. I now believe that I'll be using Isogenics every single day for the rest of my life because I love the way it makes me feel, and I'll be sharing it with every single person I know so they can also enjoy incredible health.
Oh my goodness, 30 seconds, 30.52 seconds. That's so cool. Thank you, Bill. That was awesome. And you can see how simple that is. Like it's just so simple and so easy to listen to, but so poignant with all those like real major points in there for each one. So Bill, can you just run us through like how you first put together your 30-second story and maybe tell us how it might have changed over the last couple of years?
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's basically there's a template which you can Google, which is my 30-second story, which actually gives you the template that Isogenics have produced, and David Wood teaches so very well at his University in Action events. If you haven't got your tickets already for that, it's coming up in Sydney in May, so it's not too far away. So jump on and grab those. That's an amazing event. I think I've done that course now 5 times, and every single time I've got a different experience out of it. So it's the best place to learn the 30-second story, but it's really easy to learn. So when you start off your 30-second story there, you want to come up with 3 points. When you're talking to people, like say for example, in let's talk about launch parties because I know that's the track that we're talking about. And then I might talk about when you're just doing it in general conversation. So you want to have 3 things, and the reason there's 3 things is so that you're going to connect with people that are listening to your story. So, for example, if you're talking to someone who clearly doesn't need to lose weight, but they could be having trouble sleeping. They could be lacking in energy. So that's why you want to have 3. I also have an income 30-second story as well that I use all the time. So it depends, like if someone tells me that, they're having trouble paying the bills or, times are pretty tough at the moment, I always talk to them about developing additional income streams, which is a financial planner. I've been teaching that now for over 25 years. So additional income streams are really important. So 3 things. For example, you could use things like overweight, having trouble sleeping, lacking in energy. I'm not recovering well from my workouts. I'm not. You could say I want to build some muscle. You could be someone there that like want to maybe put some weight on. They're having trouble. They might have a fast metabolism, or they've had their thyroid removed or something, and they want to put weight on. You can talk about that. You can be talking about people who feel like they're aging faster than they probably should. Due to a lot of stress in their life, or they could be feeling a lot of stress in their work or their workouts or in their business and so forth. So you're looking for solutions there, and sometimes you can just tailor your 30-second story in and around who you're talking to. So you want to be looking for 3 things, and then you want to tell people that you were introduced to Isogenics by your good friends or someone that you met. You might have been the first time you met them, but you felt connected to them straight away. And the reason you're doing that is so that they understand that you're purchasing it it's done through referral-based marketing or through direct selling. So you're sort of subliminally giving them that message that you purchased it from good friends. And in my example, like I say, from my good friends Matthew and Jody. And and I could also say, like, if I wanted to impress somebody, I could say by my good friends Matthew and Dr. Jody Ralph, who's a GP in medicine, which is really a really good thing for me. But that's not for everyone, right? So also, then when you talk about, you want to talk about how long you've been using the program for. And I like to, like, for example, if you've only been on the program for 2 weeks, tell them 2 weeks, but the actual, like, the 30-second story gets better when you've been on the program for a while, so that people will understand it's just not a diet. It's not actually something that they're just going to do for a month or a week or 3 months. It's something, it's a lifestyle program. So telling you've been on the program for 2 months or 3 months or 3 years, in my case, which will be on the 29th of April. And then step 4 in your 30-second story, which it says, as a result of, I now feel. So you need to relate those, as a result of, you need to relate that back to what you said in step 1. In step 1, for example, I say, I was overweight, having trouble sleeping and lacking in energy. And then in step 4, you say to people, well, I've now released 28 kilograms, sleep like a baby, and I've got energy to burn. Right, so you're just connecting that back to what was the issue before Isogenics and how Isogenics provided the solution that you were looking for. And then at the end is where you give it some conviction and just basically say you believe that you'll be using the program every single day for the rest of your life and what those reasons are. So the people understand that it's a nutritional cleansing program that you use ongoing and as a lifestyle. And then one thing I like to tell people is when you finish saying, I believe I'll be using this program every single day for the rest of my life, okay, or for whatever reason, let them pause and let them just absorb what you just said. But there's going to be like a sort of sometimes quite a bit of a pause, and it can be uncomfortable at that time. So it's important there where you throw a question in once they've absorbed what you just said. And so I just basically say, so let me ask you a question. If I could send you some information, would you take a look at it in relation to what I've just told you? Okay, so you're saying what you believe, and then finish it with, if I could, would you? And from that point, they're going to say, yeah, sure, why not? And then you just grab your email address and phone number if you're doing it just in a prospecting situation. Obviously, you don't need to do that in a launch party situation.
Oh, that was awesome. Thanks, Bill. That was fantastic. Your 30-second story is just so perfect. And like you said, you have a different one for if you're just talking about the financial part and one for if you're just talking about the health part. So I love that too, because I know that mine has certainly changed a little bit since I started. And every 6 months or every 12 months, mine just has more belief in it as well. When I first started, I didn't have the complete belief in everything around it, and the words were different, but it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So we've always got to keep refining that story. Now, while we've got you on the line, can I ask you a question? You've kind of answered it before, but you said how you sent out those 60 messages. Can I ask you what happens in the day of the life of Bill Ryan, who has 3 of his own businesses, but also is a 4-star, 1-star Crystal Executive, 4-star Golden Circle. I think that's right.
Yeah, I get confused too. It's just a ranking.
Basically, that means you've created an executive, you have an executive underneath you, and you are 4-star. What does a day look like in your life? Like, what time do you get up? How many new people do you talk to, and all that sort of stuff? Just a sort of average day, so we can get a bit of a handle on that.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, at the moment, I'm really busy in the sense of the ISA Derby, and we've been really smashing that out over the last 6 weeks in particular, coming home with a wet sail there. So I've actually dropped the exercise, and I know that's not a great thing, but before that, I was always the first thing I'd do is basically get up and go and train, and then I'd come back and start my day. But at the moment, I basically get up around 6. And first thing I do is a healthy mind and body, and that only takes me about 15 minutes in the morning. I just finished the second one, and I'm doing it for the 3rd time. And I just believe that's something that one of us should be doing ongoing, because it just puts you in such a great state of mind, and it's an amazing tool, especially if you're interested in people staying on the program long term. Straight away, it's a 60-day program, and the whole way it's doing the work for you. And Loz talked a bit about leverage before through launch parties. If you want leverage with retention, Healthy Mind and Body is the perfect tool to promote to people. So it's only $49, and you get some ice little lights at the end, which covers the cost of them anyway. And but it really will keep your team on the program, and that's what you want to do. So I start off with that. And then once that's done, just basically I try and do the biggest tasks of the day first of all. So the chunky tasks, the jobs that take 2 or 3 hours. So if I'm working on a financial plan, or I'm researching what I need to research for my clients, for clients that I'm working with, I'll work on that. And then I'll basically try and before lunch, I'll try and make 10 phone calls to my team, prospects in my team prior to lunch, so that because I know the afternoons tend to get a bit out of control, and so I really try and make those phone calls before lunch. Most of the people I speak to tend to be business owners. I feel a lot more comfortable talking to them during the day than disturbing them overnight. I know I like to be, I know I like phone calls. I don't like to take calls at night prior to Isogenics. I like that to be family time personally. But for most of the guys I talk to are guys, and I've noticed there's only like one guy on this call tonight. But only Brian. Here's 3 cheers for Brian, I reckon. I can't see any other guys on the call tonight. So I like to make those calls, get them done, book my appointments in, and I really like to use Zoom for appointments now. I used to try and do a lot of coffee dates, but I just found there that I prefer to say, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a link. Just click on that. You'll need to download some software, and we can talk through the computer similar to Skype, and I can actually share my computer with you. And that way, it saves me driving 20 minutes to catch up with a coffee or more. Sitting there for half an hour, and then they could say no, and then half an hour drive back. Whereas I can just straight to the point using Zoom and have the conversation and go from there. If they're local, I'll invite them to a launch party. We do launch parties once a week at our home, and then we do some launch parties for our team in other locations as well. So leverage is what it's all about. Really, that's the bottom. Launch parties are the very best way, I think, to do that.
Awesome. And my husband just peeped up and said he's on
G'day,
the call.
Max.
2 men.
I can see him, but I can't see his face.
No, he doesn't have his video on, I don't think. Oh, that's great. So that's good to hear. So, and do you work often into the night as well, like sending out stuff and just training your team and things like that?
Yeah, I do work really long hours, Kerry. I have Sunday off mostly, but I tend to work pretty crazy hours. As you can imagine, it's not unusual for me to be still going at 9:30 at night. The great thing is home-based businesses, like I run my financial planning business from home as well. And all my clients, I talk to them through Skype, and I talk to them through Zoom. Very rarely to actually sit in front of a client these days. Most of my clients have been with me for more than 15 years, so I know them intimately, and so it makes it quite easy. So I can spend time, like when the kids come home from school, I can break for an afternoon tea break and talk to them. Lunchtime, I can talk to Shaz and of course have dinner with them of an evening, but then straight back into the office. And we make it pretty clear. We have a vision board for ourselves and for a vision board for the family, so the kids understand that that we work pretty hard, but we also have a lot of fun together as a family as well. So and it's important that they understand why we're working hard and what we're looking to achieve, so we can all get there and have some fun once it's done.
Oh, that's fantastic, Bill. Really good to hear. And, obviously to get to where you are and any, to get success in Isogenics, it does require hours. And I think, to hear it real from people from time and time again, just makes it all that much more exciting for us, because we can do it in our own time. We have to be prepared to do it. That's all. But you can do it. You can still do it.
It's when you start off in Isogenics, the income's really small. It's delayed gratification. So it's just it's network marketing. So it's work, get paid, work, 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 you're paid, work, 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 you're paid, work, work, paid, work, paid, work, paid, 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 paid. But with women, I like to say, you work, 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 shop, work, work, shop, work, shop, work, shop, 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 right? So that's what I like to explain to people, and that's how it works.
Yeah, let's give Bill a round of applause. Thanks, Bill. We're going to all work hard tonight so we can go shopping tomorrow.
That's it.
And the two guys that are on the call, we're going to make them go to work.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Thank you so, so much. You're welcome to hang around. We've just got a couple more things to finish off with, but thank you, Bill. That was really, really fantastic.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
So the last few minutes, we had a couple more things that we wanted to cover. I think one thing that we probably should cover, and that I know that she has prepared for us, is three-way calls. That was one of the last things. And I know there are many of us that use three-way calls. Some of us are a little afraid of three-way calls and are not sure how to get people onto three-way calls. We gave you an example of using a three-way PM to perhaps introduce people to a three-way call. But what we'd like to do now is introduce one of our beautiful team members, Michelle Femia. Michelle, are you there? Michelle is a manager, I believe. We just have to unmute you, Michelle. Michelle has had fantastic success with three-way calls. She loves doing them, and we'd love to hear from you, Michelle, as to how do you actually get your people onto three-way calls? Because I think that's one of the most asked questions for most people, and I see that you're still muted, so I think either Lauren has to unmute you, or if you can do that. Okay, now you're unmuted. Right. Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely love three-way calls because I was a bit nervous at the beginning about three-way calls. I would avoid them at all costs. So for all of you that are avoiding them, don't, because they are so incredible. I have made some little notes because I didn't want to forget like what I actually do to get people on a three-way call. So, and I've got like a little story. So I've been the person that has been technically the expert and I've been the one getting the person on a call with an expert. And so, you know, it's quite amazing both ways. But the two main things that people want, before I go into that, the two main questions that they want answered. It's really, really simple. Can I do this? This is what the person's thinking that you're going to be talking to. Can I do this? And will I get help? At the end of that call, they have to feel like that they can do it and that they're actually going to get help from the team. And I've experienced both ways, coaching someone on one of those calls and having a coach and listening. And it's quite phenomenal. Plus, it gives third-party validation. When I wasn't doing three-way calls, I was trying to do it all myself. And so that person wasn't being connected into the team. So there was no third-party validation. And sometimes you can be saying all the things that the top coach that you get on might say, but they might say it slightly different and they've connected with them in a different way. And that person goes, oh, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. So that's what's going on for the person. So what happens for the, I'll go into what I actually say. With that, is that really what you want me to do?
Yeah.
What do I say to get them on? Right.
Perfect.
So,
yeah.
So I've just had this friend, Simone, and I just said to her, we were chatting about isogenics, and so I said to her, hey Simone, I really want to get you on the phone with my biz partner Beck. She's actually also my daughter, but she has reached her goals and so much more, and her story is so similar to yours. She'll be able to answer all of your questions. So I could relate them both. So Simone had just travelled from the UK to Australia. I met her in the rain at a park, right place, you know, the rain comes and you meet people. I love it. And so Beck travels and she's traveled. They're around the same age. This girl wanted some weight loss and she wanted to feel energized. So the first person that I thought of, you always got to be thinking about the person that is going to relate to that person. You know, Beck came home from overseas, was lethargic, blah, blah, blah. She had a great experience. So I was able to connect her, and straight away she's like, oh, okay. So don't be kind of weird. I was really weird in the beginning. I was like, oh, I can't do 3 ways. That's so weird. Like, how do you get someone on a call? You don't call it a 3-way connect. You say, hey, I really want to introduce you to somebody who I feel has got a similar story to you. So can you see how you can just be really authentic? So pretty much that's, you know, I'd really like to get you on a call with so-and-so. Or if it's someone that it's financial, and because I haven't reached, and this is where I'm growing myself personally. So I used to get stuck in this one because I felt that I hadn't reached that financial goal. But so many of you have, and I wasn't using that. So now I'm able to go, hey, I'm just really new at this, but my amazing mentor, Loz, has had a phenomenal product and financial result. And I'd love to get her on a call with you so she can share her story with you. And then ask them, are you keen to do that? Right? So I just try and take all my weirdness out. I'm learning. It's been a hard thing for me, but I'm learning to go, I've got the team there. I don't have that story, but I can now go, oh, I can get Loz on the phone. I can get everyone on the phone. I can get who's gonna be the best person to connect with that person.
That's awesome. There's some really great nuggets there. You just make it sound so easy and so simple. That's fantastic. Really,
it hasn't been for me. It really hasn't. I was always like the weird, like I used to say to Beth all the time, yeah, I mean, how can you say to someone, oh, you want to get on the phone with someone else? Like, that's so weird. But you know what I learned? The story that I want to tell you is that I was asked by not even anybody that was financially linked. She just, we were doing the 90-day game plan, and we were doing like this thing on with Heidi, and we're all online. And I was loving the 3-way calls. I'm like, look, just anybody, if you want me on a 3-way call, just, this is my story, get me on the call. So all these people were getting me on the call. And what I realized was that the person on the other end of the phone just wants that next validation that they feel that they can do it. So you've got to have like that excitement, that enthusiasm. She was older, so she was 50 plus. I'm 50 plus. So straight away there was a connection. So and what expired from that conversation, now this lady had already been on the product, but she was just about to give up. So the other point to that is, don't just use it for prospects. Use it for when people are, or for your welcome call. So you've got your prospects, your welcome call. Use it for people that are already doing the program, whether it's 30, 60, 90 days. If they're having trouble, get someone else on to actually just really fuel and encourage them to keep going. And that's what I experienced. Now I was able to actually just come on with enthusiasm and say, hey, I'm 58. I'm feeling amazing. If I can do it, you can do it. And she's come off that call just going, oh my goodness, I can do this. And I just gave her a few little tips. I said, look, we are older. Her sponsor was younger. And so she kind of went, I need to get someone that's had a great result that can actually talk to her. And so I said, look, we are older and we do have different issues as our body. And sometimes our body does recover a little slower. But I said, you wait until you continue to put that product in your body, you're just going to get all the results that you want. I sent her a photo and she was like, oh my goodness, I want to look like that. And I said, well, just keep going, girl. So she's still on the system. So she just kept going. I said, get some more Ionics. You need some more Ionics. So now she gets 2 bottles a month. So it's just,
I think
right? So it's just kind of,
sorry, I was just going to say, I think the great thing there is too, is that when you're that third person coming in, you've got no connection with the other 2 people. So you're just coming in and telling your story, and there's no emotional connection. So you can say that you've got to get some Ionics. You should do this without that emotional connection. So
and that's where the light bulb came on for me, because I thought, I had a different posture in that. Why? Because I wasn't emotionally connected. So now I take that feeling to people that I'm prospecting, right? It's like, you either want to do it or you don't. So that's what I realized in that meeting. I was like, why am I so I'm so full on, and I'm just like myself, and I'm just, encouraging her and just going blah, blah, blah. But then when it's with my people, I get that feeling of, I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to do the wrong thing. Right? So now I've just kind of taken a hold of that posture for myself. That I'm just helping that person. I just want that person to know that they can do it.
Yeah.
That there is help, and it's not just from me. I've got this totally beautiful, beautiful team. And then it was all about edifying. Did you want me to go into edifying?
I think we're going to have to cut it there, just because we're already a few minutes over time. But that so far has been fantastic. I think the important thing is that you can duplicate that. So if you introduce someone on a 3-way call, then they can see how easy it is to then introduce their friend through a 3-way call, whether they're a prospect or a new cleanser. So it's so easy to duplicate. Thank you so much, Michelle. That was fantastic. That was really awesome. We could do a whole hour on 3-way calls, but I think you really have to just jump in there and give it a go, and just really, fail forward. Like, if you feel a bit weird at first, just do it. And as soon as you start doing it, you find that it's so much easier, and that they really are valuable. And for the new people, if you don't know who to hook them up with, if you don't know someone that is like this person that you're talking to, then just ask your upline, go up, ask your upline until you find someone, and they'll help you find someone that then you can connect them in a PM, and ask them through a PM, a 3-way PM, can you please do a 3-way call for me on this day? So there is definitely ways that we can all help each other out. That's awesome. I think at this point that we might have to just throw back to Erin now to close us off and just announce all the tasks for this week. Thanks, Ezra.
Thanks, Kezel. And yeah, we have run a little bit over time, so thank you everyone for your patience and sticking with it, because there was some amazing gold nuggets from everybody there tonight, and I definitely took a page of notes, so I hope you guys did too. So there will be some stuff posted in the group tomorrow about who won the weekly prize this week. We won't announce that now because there has been a couple of technical difficulties, shall we call them, but that will be announced tomorrow. So the tasks for the week ahead, and Lizzie will put this up in the pinned post, and what Bill mentioned earlier about what he does first thing every single morning when he gets up to start the day. Who here would like to be a 4-star Golden Circle Crystal executive? Yeah, me too. So I'm going to do what Bill does, and so the task this week is to enter healthy mind and body if you are not already doing that. So in your back office, I'm sure you can all have a look around and find out where that is. Shout out if you actually do need help, but healthymindandbody.com is, I think, the website straight up. So get in there, pop yourself in, and commit to yourself and your business by doing that little bit of personal development every single day. Of course, 3 by 3 by 3, basic business activity of 3 new connections, so sharing the story 3 times about Isogenics, 3 follow-ups, and pouring love into 3 people every single day. Record and post your 30-second story. Now, that is probably going to take a couple of run-throughs and a little bit of practice. Maybe you want to record yourself once or twice and get it close as possible to 30 seconds, and Bill absolutely nailed that before. So even if you want to, listen back to the recording to hear his story again, so you can get those really juicy points in there and across in 30 seconds. So record yourself doing that and post it in the group so we can all support and cheer each other on. And a little bit of a hashtag 30-second story, hashtag 90-day game plan, how we love a hashtag. And then the last point, the last task for this week is to watch the weight loss videos within ISA movie and write down 10 people that come to mind for each movie. So obviously you want to be thinking about new people, but of course there could be some, you know, as was mentioned earlier too, people already in your organization or in your teams that you think would benefit from seeing that film too. So those are the tasks. They'll be in the pinned post that Lozzie will put up. Make sure everyone reach out in the group and to each other if you have any questions at all, and look out for the winner of the weekly prize. So we look forward to seeing you next week, next Sunday night, 7 p.m. for call number 4 in the Team Elev8 90-day game plan. So that is it for tonight. Thank you to all of our amazing speakers. Thank you, Manu, Lauren, Phil, Michelle, and Ange.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's taking the photo? Someone's going to take a photo of the team. So everybody put your happy faces on and say yay! Done?
Thank you,
Awesome.
Bill. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.